Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and let it out slowly. You are safe here. You are warm. The sounds of the night wrap around you like a blanket. Outside, the world is quiet. The streets are empty. The houses are dark. But in the spaces between, in the shadows where the streetlights don't reach, that is where the stories live. Tonight's story takes us to a family home where the toys have started to tell a story of their own. They found it at an estate sale. The dollhouse was enormous, far larger than anything they had seen in a store. It was made of real wood, dark and heavy, with a roof of tiny shingles and windows of actual glass. The rooms inside were furnished with miniature chairs and tables and beds, all of them crafted with a precision that bordered on obsessive. And the dolls. There were 5 of them, each one about 8 inches tall, made of porcelain with painted faces and real cloth clothes. They were beautiful. They were also slightly unsettling, the way all porcelain dolls are unsettling, with their fixed expressions and their glass eyes that seemed to follow you around the room. Their daughter, Lily, was 8 years old, and she loved it immediately. She'd carried it home herself, even though it was almost as tall as she was, and she set it up in her bedroom and spent the rest of the afternoon arranging the dolls in different rooms, giving them names, giving them voices, giving them lives. She named the tallest doll Eleanor, and the one with the dark hair Clara, and the smallest one, the one with the yellow dress, she named Rose. The other 2, a boy and a girl with matching blue eyes, she named Thomas and Grace. She arranged them in the kitchen, cooking dinner. She arranged them in the living room, sitting by the fire. She arranged them in the bedroom, sleeping in their tiny beds. And when she was done, she stepped back and looked at her work and smiled. The parents watched from the doorway and smiled too. It was a good purchase. The dollhouse was beautiful, and Lily was happy, and that was all that mattered. They went downstairs and made dinner and forgot about it. But that night, after Lily was in bed, her mother went to check on her and found her awake, sitting up in bed, staring at the dollhouse. Lily, her mother said, go to sleep. They move, Lily said. What moves, sweetheart? The dolls. They move at night. Her mother looked at the dollhouse. The dolls were exactly where Lily had left them, arranged in the kitchen, cooking dinner. Nothing had changed. She smiled and kissed Lily's forehead and told her that dolls do not move, and that she should close her eyes and go to sleep. And Lily closed her eyes, and her mother turned off the light and went downstairs. The next morning, her mother went to Lily's room to wake her for school. Lily was already awake, sitting on the floor in front of the dollhouse, staring at it. Her mother looked at the dollhouse and felt something she could not explain. The dolls were not in the kitchen anymore. They were in the living room, arranged on the couch, and they were watching something. The tiny television in the corner of the dollhouse living room was turned on, though her mother was almost certain it had not been turned on the night before. And the dolls were arranged in a way that felt deliberate. They were sitting close together, leaning forward as if they were watching something that was important to them. Lily, did you move the dolls? Lily shook her head. They moved themselves. Her mother picked up the smallest doll, Rose, and looked at it. The painted face stared back at her with glass eyes that were warm and brown and very still. She put the doll back and told Lily to get dressed for school. and she went downstairs and did not think about it again. But you are safe here. The dolls are only dolls, and the house is warm and solid around you. The night is quiet, and the toys do not wake. A week passed. The dolls moved every night. The parents did not believe Lily, and they did not check. But one evening the father went upstairs to get something from the closet in Lily's room, and he stopped in the doorway. The dollhouse was on the shelf by the window, and the dolls were arranged in a scene that made him pause. They were in the kitchen, the 5 of them, arranged around the tiny table, but they were not cooking dinner this time. They were sitting in a way that was familiar to him. The tallest doll, Eleanor, was in the chair that he always sat in at their own kitchen table. The dark-haired doll, Clara, was in the chair that his wife sat in, and the 3 smaller dolls were arranged in the other chairs, the way their family sat every night. The dolls were having dinner, the same dinner they had just had, the same arrangement, the same scene. He stared at it for a long time, and then he went downstairs and did not mention it to his wife. But the next night he checked again. The dolls had moved. They were in the living room now, and they were arranged on the couch the way he and his wife sat on the couch every evening after Lily was in bed. The dolls were watching television. The tiny television was on. He leaned closer and looked at the dolls' faces. They were arranged with care, each one turned slightly toward the screen, each one positioned just so, as if they had been placed there by someone who knew exactly how his family spent their evenings. He told his wife about it that night, after Lily was asleep. She laughed at first, but then she went upstairs and looked at the dollhouse, and she did not laugh anymore. The dolls were exactly as he had described them, and the scene was exactly as he had described it, and it was exactly how they had spent their evening. She looked at the dolls for a long time, and then she came back downstairs and said nothing. The next day, the father took the dollhouse and put it in the closet. He closed the door and went to work. When he came home that evening, the dollhouse was back on the shelf. The dolls were in the living room, arranged in a scene that made his blood run cold. The dolls were not watching television this time. They were arranged around a small table, and on the table was a tiny cake with candles. It was his wife's birthday. Her birthday was in 3 days. He had not bought a cake yet. He had not even thought about it yet, but the dolls had. He took the dollhouse and put it in the trunk of his car and drove it to a storage unit and locked it away. He came home and told Lily that the dollhouse had been donated to a museum, and that the museum would take very good care of it. Lily cried, but she was 8, and children forget, and after a few days she stopped asking about it. The parents tried to forget too. They tried to believe that it was just a coincidence, that the dolls were just dolls, and that the scenes they arranged were just scenes. But the father went to the storage unit once a week, and he opened the door and looked at the dollhouse on its shelf. The dolls were still there. They were still arranged in scenes, and every week the scenes were different. Every week they showed something that had not happened yet. A scene of his wife sitting at her desk with tears on her face. A scene of Lily standing at the door of her bedroom with a suitcase. A scene of the 2 of them sitting in the living room, the couch between them, not looking at each other. He did not know what any of it meant. He did not know if the dolls were predicting the future or creating it. He did not know if there was a difference. He closed the storage unit and locked the door and drove home. And on the shelf in Lily's bedroom, in the place where the dollhouse had been, there was nothing, just a rectangle of dust on the wood, the shape of a house. You are safe here. The dolls are far away, locked in the dark, and they cannot see you. The night is yours. Close your eyes. Let the darkness hold you. Sleep well.